Welcome back to Talking More Sports. It has been so long since we have uploaded a video on this channel, but I'm here to tell you guys that we are back and better than ever. I just about finished setting up our brand new little studio we got going on right here. So we are going to be coming back at you full blast, getting ready for these NBA playoffs that are about to happen in about a month's time. But I just got done finishing up watching the Lakers game. After watching that, I had to turn on the camera and just tell you guys what the heck my thoughts are on this whole situation. Because the Lakers have literally just screwed themselves over. Now let's take it back to last game, not the one against the Mavericks, the one against the Rockets. The one against the Rockets, they were supposed to win. I mean, the Rockets are the worst team in the West, or is it the Spurs? Let me fact check myself real quick for you. Okay, they're actually tied for the worst team with the Spurs, 18-52. But I think at the time they were the worst team in the West. So that's a team you have to beat if you're in the playoff push and you're trying to avoid the play-in tournament. And yet they just literally gave that game away. I mean, it was a close game in the end, but according to what my brother Scott texted me. Now, I might have to check his sources on this, but he said, here's a fun fact. AD wanted to play against the Rockets. The Lakers doctors wouldn't let him. So if that's true, then the Lakers doctors are the ones to blame if they don't make the playoffs, because that is just ridiculous. It has been reported widely that he does not feel any pain right now and that he is 100% and he is good to go. So why, when you're trying to make a playoff push, why would you sit him down when you could now end up playing in the play-in tournament? And who makes the play-in tournament versus who makes the playoffs and avoids the play-in tournament could literally be decided by one game. And that one game could have been the Rockets game. And if that's the case, then they really screwed everyone over, because AD could have gotten a full week's rest in between the end of the regular season and when the playoffs start. But instead, they're probably going to have to play in the play-in game. And that just doesn't make any sense to me. How would the Lakers management team and the Lakers doctors not know that? That it's probably more beneficial for his body, more beneficial for him if they win these games, he plays back-to-backs, and they can avoid the play-in tournament, and he gets to have a full week's rest right before the playoffs start. Yet for some reason, they decide to rest him. They end up losing. So that was their first big mistake. I think they thought they could easily just beat the Rockets and it would be no harm, no foul. But as we have seen in the NBA in recent years, no lead is safe in the NBA with the three, and any team can beat any team because of the three-point line. I mean, the Rockets just beat the Celtics the game before that. So what made the Lakers think that the Rockets couldn't come in and beat the Lakers? I mean, the Celtics were fully healthy. So it just doesn't make any sense to me why the Lakers would choose to do this, and if AD was wanting to play, why they wouldn't let him. So now we get into this game. And it was just such a disappointment. For those of you who don't know, maybe you missed the game, but the Lakers were up by, I believe, 4 or 5 with the ball in their hand with under 4 minutes left. And then somehow they got outscored 9-3 down the stretch, and they ended up losing on a buzzer beater by Maxi Kleber. Is it Kleber or is it Kleba? I don't know. Everyone says it differently. But by Maxi Kleber, and end up losing 111-110, which now brings them to the 10th seed. Just fact-checking everything because I'm doing this spur of the moment, but they are now 34-37. They are half a game behind the Oklahoma City Thunder for the 9th seed, and they are now all the way 2 games behind Dallas. Oh, what do you know? Dallas, who they just lost to on a stupid play, and we'll get to actually my thoughts on why they lost in a second here. But they are now 2 games behind the Mavericks for the 6th seed, and they're now 3.5 games behind the Clippers for the 5th seed, which just a couple days ago, about a week ago even, I thought the Lakers could rise all the way up to the 5 seed because they were only about 2.5 games behind. Maybe it was 2 games. I can't remember, but they were only a couple games behind the 5th seed, and now they've fallen all the way to technically being tied for the 10th seed because they have the same record as the 11 seed Jazz. So that's not good. If they lose the next game and the Jazz win, then they're completely out of the play-in tournament. So it just sucks that every single game matters this much, and they chose to take Anthony Davis out and not play him against the Rockets, and then they end up losing this game against the Mavericks, and it is now costing them maybe their chance of making the playoffs altogether. So that's why you don't just give up games. You don't just assume you're going to win. You don't just rest your best player, especially when LeBron's already injured. You don't just rest Anthony Davis because you think it's a gimme game. Or you think, well, if we lose this one, we're probably going to win against the Mavericks because they don't have Luka Doncic. Blah, blah, blah. Like, that's not going to work. They still have Kyrie Irving. They still have a great three-point shooting team. The Mavericks can beat anyone on any given night because they're one of the best shooting teams in the entire NBA. So that's why you can't afford to just sit Anthony Davis, because now you are in this position. And if they had played Anthony Davis, I could almost guarantee you that they beat the Rockets, and then they're in a much better position, even if they had lost this game against the Mavericks. So if you want to see my thoughts on why I think the Lakers lost this game against the Mavericks and why I think they are in huge trouble going forward, then make sure you check out the next video. If that video is already up, then it's going to be right here for you. If not, then it hasn't been uploaded yet. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next one. We will be uploading a lot more on this channel, and Scott will be joining me. Once we get the other microphone in next week, it'll be a normal format. So just bear with us until that happens. But anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys next time.